Students, this is the 11th video of our first module, and in this video I'll be explaining you about the variables and data types. And before I start with the variables, I want to explain you about one example program of constants, so which we have seen in the last video. So this is one of the program which has four types of constants here: integer constant, real constant, character constant, and string constant. So we can see how actually we have given the constant value. Int value is a variable name which is of integer data type, and we have given the keyword const, which represents this value will remain same throughout the execution of a program. Even float value also we have given it as const, so the value is 4.14. Char constants is stored in char val and it is a, and string constant it is stored as abc, and it can hold maximum of 10 characters. So here we are going to print those values. Once we are going to print the values, we are going to get what are the values we are going to store here. 10, 4.14, A and ABC are the output of this program. So you can see the output here: 10, 4.14, A and ABC. So this is the output for our constant program example. So coming to the variables. So till now we are clear with the constant value. So what is a constant means? Its value doesn't change throughout the execution of a program. So next, moving on with the variables. Variable is nothing but it is a storage unit where we are going to store the data. So whatever data you are going to input through your keyboard, so that data has to be stored at some place and it has to be identified with some name. So that name which we are going to give for that particular the storage area is nothing but the variable. So that variable, it will be storing the data whatever we are going to enter in that particular address. So a variable is a data name that may be used to store a data value. So variable may take different values at different times during the execution. As the name itself tells, variable means it keeps on changing. Constant means it will remain same. So variable, it will be changing its value during the execution of the program. So once we will be knowing with some value, the next time it will be changed to some other value. So that is what will happen with the variables. Its value keeps on changing. So we can see in the diagram whatever data we have, we will be entering it into the variable. Then coming to the variable name, how we can give the variable name. Variables again, they are nothing but the identifier. Identifier, it is the name given for a variable, or it may be a name given for a arrays or functions. So similarly here also variables, it will be taking the name which has the rules that are meant same as for that of the identifier. That is, whatever is applicable for identifier, same rules are applicable for variables also. We will just look into the rules whatever are applicable to write the name for a variable. So these are the examples here: average, height, total, counter 1, class strength. So these are the examples for our variables. But what are the rules it has to follow? If we are going to give any name for a variable, it has to follow certain rules. So those rules are similar to that of the identifier. So I will be reading out the rules now. A variable name can consist of capital letter A to Z, lowercase a to Z, digits 0 to 9, and the underscore character. Then first character must be letter or underscore. The same thing. Blank spaces cannot be used as variable names. Yes, special characters are not allowed. That is, special symbols are not allowed. C keywords cannot be used as variable names. Variable names are case sensitive. If you are going to declare them as capital letter, then same thing should be used in your program, entire program. If you are going to declare them as capital but you are going to use them as small letters, then it is not acceptable. That is called as case sensitivity. So case sensitive variables names are case sensitive. Values of the variables can be numeric or alphabetic. Variable type can be character, int, float, double, or void. So we can see the set of examples here. Then that is about the variables. Coming to the data types. Now we are familiar with identifiers, variables. So now what type of variable it is, that is what type we are going to declare that variable as. So it is nothing but based on the data type, what value it will be storing. Whether it stores a integer value, or it stores a floating point value, or whether it stores a character values or some other values it stores. Depending on that, we are going to identify the type of our variable. So why we are going to use this data type? What is the use of a data type? It identifies the type of a variable when it is declared. During the declaration only, we are going to specify what type of variable it is, what type of data this variable will hold. Identify the type of return value of a function. So whatever function it is, it may be a main function or some sub function. So based on whatever return type it is, it has to return that value. Then identify the type of parameters expected by a function. If we are going to write a function, then what are the parameters it requires? That parameter should be of what data type. So everything can be specified with the help of this data types. So we have different data types in C. Coming further, we have different data types in C. So they are classified as primary data types, derived data types, and user-defined data types. So first is primary data types, which are also called as primitive data types or basic data types or fundamental data types. So integer, float, char, and void are the different data types which we have in our primitive data types. Then coming to the derived data types, we have arrays and pointers. Then user-defined data types are the data types which we are going to define based on the primary data types. The examples for that are structures, unions, and enumerators. Coming to the primary data types, what are the basic data types we have? So integers, again it is classified into signed and unsigned. Signed means we'll be having positive and negative numbers. Unsigned means we'll be having only the positive numbers by default. We are not going to specify with the sign. By default we are going to declare them as positive numbers. Signed numbers, again we have int, short int, and long int. Unsigned means we have int, short int, and long int. So these things, int, short int, long int, they are being differentiated based on the number of bits or number of bytes which we are going to allocate for that particular data type. So that we will be seeing in the next slide. Then coming to the floating point. Floating point means we are going to declare the variables as real data type, that is real values we can store them. That is, for example, decimal point also it has to include. So different types of floating point data types are float, double, and long double. Then coming to the character data type, we have character, signed character, and unsigned character. So these are the different types of primary data types which we have. So void, int, char, float, double, int, star, char, star, and float star are the different keywords which we are going to use for our primary data types based on what value it is going to store. If it is int means integer type, char means character type, float or double means it is of floating point type, and if we use star in front of this, then it will be of pointer type. If we doesn't have any data type means, then we are going to declare it by default as void. Coming to the derived data types, arrays, references, and pointers are the different types of derived data types which we have. This we will be studying in third module. About arrays, we are going to study in the third module. Coming to the user-defined data types, different user-defined data types are structure, union, and enumerator. So these user-defined data types we are going to study in the fifth module of our subject. Then coming to the integer data type. Integer data type, based on how many bytes it has, so it will be going to store that range of values. For example, if it is signed int or int means 2 bytes will be allocated for it. 2 bytes means 2 to the power of 16. 2 to the power of 16. So if we go with 2 to the power of 16 and it is signed integer means positive and negative numbers both should be included. The range of numbers which can be stored at this particular data type is minus 32,768 to 32,767. Only within this range we can store the numbers for our signed int. Similarly, unsigned int also 2 bytes, but it will be starting from 0 to 65,535 is the maximum range. Then come short int and unsigned short int 1 byte each, and it will be having its own range. 2 to the power of 8 we are going to calculate. Then if it is a long int means 4 bytes, double of the integer value. So 4 bytes means it can store the exponential values, and very long values also can be stored in this type of data type. Coming to the floating point, float it has maximum 4 bytes, double has 8 bytes, and long double will be having 10 bytes. So the range also will be increasing as we increase the number of bytes for our data type. Coming to the character type means it has either it is signed or unsigned. Its size is 1 byte. 1 byte means 2 to the power of 8 only we are going to calculate. Void means the void has no values. It is usually used to specify the type of the function. The type of function is said to be void when it does not return any value.